Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the LWIAY podcast. I am your host, Ninja Elmo, and with me is not the usual guest or host, actually. It's not Sean's not here. So this is our special guest. You'd like to introduce yourself?
I'm good. You can introduce me. You wanna, pull out all the stops.
Man, I forgot your name. I'm sorry about that. We haven't talked in a while, so I remember Jacob's name. I remember Micah.
Yeah, it's just because we say it a lot. But yeah, I'm the only one you forgot, even though I'm the one who talks to you probably the most in the server.
Probably. I'm sorry. I'm not good with the names, so.
Well,
let's talk about the Batman.
The Batman.
Yes.
What do you want to talk about the movie?
Spoiler warning, by the way. Let's start from the beginning. How does the movie start?
I gotta think for a second.
Same. I watched this movie a week ago, so.
It starts with him doing that monologue or whatever over Halloween, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and then he fights those crooks.
I think I have a clip of it. I'll just play it over these.
You're gonna get copyright strikes for that.
I know.
DC, this guy with, not
a lot of subscribers.
He used a clip from your movie. Should we sue him for all he's worth?
Alright, so this fool, Batman, actually talks about, the things he's done in 2 years. Because this is his second year of being Batman. So he talks about how he now has a signal, and that the signal is not a call, but it's a warning. But a warning to them, the criminals. And it shows a lot. It shows two people. We see they call them drop heads, but we see one of them.
Yeah. We don't learn what the drops are, do we? It's just we know that it's some kind of drug.
Yeah, it's an eye drop drug, apparently.
Oh, gotcha.
Jesus, how did that work? Actually,
what, the drug?
Yeah, and a drug to put it in your eye. That seems pretty painful.
Was it eye drops? It looked like it was just a drug that they just called a drop or something.
I think it was probably eye drops.
Oh, it looked just a little, a pill or a little candy or something that looked like a little teardrop or whatever, or gumdrop maybe. I don't know.
From the the stuff I gathered from watching the movie and all the breakdowns.
Yeah.
So during the years before Batman becomes Batman, they have this drug called drops, and it's pretty bad. It's kind of like cocaine in the 80s.
I feel it's not like that though. I guess
it's not
epidemic, but it's not a similar drug though.
Mm-mm. Yeah, you put it in your eye.
It's more like a psychedelic, I guess.
Yeah,
I'd say.
From the films, this kind of gives you some hallucinations, makes you kind of dizzy, but that's from what I got from the film. So that dude gets run over. He gets back up because he's scared that the Batman's in the shadows.
Yeah, it just shows a bunch of clips of criminals being scared that he's in the shadows.
Yeah,
and he comes out.
And finally he comes out.
Dude.
Yeah, he finally comes out. He's like, "What's up, fool?"
These guys dressed as clowns, beating up a old dude or whatever.
Yeah.
He comes out and beats them all up.
And then says vengeance. Well, the guy who comes up to him.
Who are you? I'm vengeance.
And
that is also intercut with the the Riddler though, breaking into the mayor's house.
Yeah, I was going to add that, and then you brought it up, so I was like, nah.
Yeah. the Riddler is like the main villain, but yeah, the Riddler. It starts off with the mayor. It's like you can see like him watching the mayor from another building, and then he ends up killing the mayor. Like he stalks him and then kills him.
By
and
the
mayor
way,
is like super corrupt.
Yeah, by the way, the Riddler has all of this planned out. So the tool that he uses, remember that. I don't know what a tool. It's like for carpeting, like to rip out stuff.
Oh, yep, yeah.
So keep that in mind because that's going to be used later.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mayor gets murdered. He's corrupt, and it kind of sets off
basically like targeting corrupt people. Yeah. But it sets off the cops show up to the mayor's house and everything, and then Batman shows up, and there's one cop, Gordon, lets him in, and all the other cops, don't want him there.
Yeah, they call him a freak.
Yeah, but then Gordon lets him there, and he investigates the scene. There's a note for Batman at the crime scene.
Which in the beginning it doesn't shake him that much, but once you like watch the movie and see how much the Riddler like mentions the Batman, then it starts shaking him up. Because it's like, okay, this guy just died, and there's a letter addressed to me, the Batman. For some reason, the cops are going to think he's involved because of the letter.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, that's kind of
pretty much
like you would assume that. But then they find the letter's like a riddle or whatever, and the riddle leads them to the mayor's cars, where they find a USB drive with like pictures of him with another woman that's like not his wife, like not a prostitute, but like another lady from the club.
Yeah, from the club.
And then he goes to investigate it, and he finds the girl. Or no, he finds Catwoman, the girl's like girlfriend or whatever, at Penguin's club. And the girl, he follows Catwoman home, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember.
I'm trying to remember the order of events.
Yeah.
From
he goes to investigate the lounge, the Penguin's Club, the Iceberg Lounge.
And that's where he meets the Penguin, the Batman. He beats up some people. Yeah. He beats up some cop, which we'll bring up later. Breaks his nose.
Beats up a corrupt cop who was, on Penguin's payroll.
And yeah, he meets Oz. He's like, I'm Oz. And Batman's like, what am I supposed to do?
Me too.
The Penguin. He calls himself Oz. Ozzy Osbourne. That's what his name is.
Yeah, Oswald Cobblepot.
So
that's actually that was a good representation of Penguin.
Yeah.
Because like the most recent one that I've seen, other than that, was I watched the show Gotham, and they're like it was a cool concept for him, but like it wasn't really the Penguin.
The only time I actually seen the Penguin was in Batman Returns when Danny DeVito did it.
Oh.
So yeah, it's a the two are vastly different from each other.
Yeah,
because the dude is not.
This was like a good representation of Penguin, just because I don't know, it's like a more classic.
Yeah, more classic. He's not an actual penguin. Well, he's not a penguin, but he acts like a penguin, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't get. I don't get Batman Returns that much.
It's just because, like, he's, I don't know, like, I think the reason is he wears suits and he's always hanging out in, like, cold places. And penguins, like, their feathers, it looks like they're wearing suits. So, I don't know. But yeah. Anyways, he goes and he talks to the penguin and asks him about that girl who was with the mayor. And the penguin says he doesn't know anything. But then he sees that girl's girlfriend, who is Catwoman, there, and he follows her home, sees them, and then he follows Catwoman to the mayor's house because she was going to go steal her friend's stuff back, her girlfriend's stuff back from the mayor's house when Batman catches her there. And then they fight and stuff, and then they agree to work together when they get back to, Catwoman's house. Her girlfriend is gone.
And the place was raided.
Yeah, it was raided. It was torn apart, and she was gone.
So yeah, I think after that, if I am correct,
there was another murder, right? It was
it was. I think it was the commissioner. It's not.
no,
Gordon.
no,
It's a different commissioner. No. Savage, I think his name is.
No, it was was it?
I think it was first the mayor, and then the commissioner, and then the DEA or something like that.
The DA, they Batman or Catwoman saw him in the club or whatever. Yeah. And then whenever he leaves, the Riddler gets him in the car and all that, and then straps him to that explosive thing.
If I don't know, you guys can like correct me in the comments or not, but there was a time where someone actually strapped like a neck bomb to someone.
That was the DA after or at the funeral.
No, in real life. In real life.
Oh, yeah.
It actually happened.
That was something that happened in like the 90s, I think.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Strapped it to him, made that guy rob a bank.
Yeah, don't know the details, but it was kind of bloody.
Right, I think it was the commissioner because they were at the commissioner's funeral whenever the DA had the bomb around his neck.
I don't remember. All I remember is Batman, and that's it.
Yeah, or it was Bruce Wayne in that scene, and then
Yeah, Bruce Wayne shows up.
Well, yeah, he's there like in public for the funeral, and then.
So during the funeral, Batman as Bruce Wayne walks around. He meets a few people. He meets, what was his name again? Carmine Falcone? It's Falcone. People call him Falcone. Falcone. Yeah, Carmine. Carmine,
yeah.
Carmine Falcone. Not Falcone, which people, I don't know. But yeah, he sees him because he thinks he saw Selina like walking with them.
Yeah.
But he didn't. It was someone else. And they talk, and Falcone tells a story how Thomas Wayne, Bruce Wayne's father, saved him from being shot. Well, he was shot.
Yeah, he had a gunshot wound. Yeah. And then he like showed up at Thomas Wayne's house, and since he was like a doctor or whatever, he saved his life. Like he pulled the bullet out and all that.
And yeah, Bruce Wayne gets to meet Oswald as well. He was there.
Well, no, the Penguin wasn't there, was he?
Yeah, he was there.
I don't remember. He might have been. I don't know. But yeah, and then they're at the funeral or whatever after all that, and then they are sitting down, and then a car, like a cop car, bursts through the like it drives into the building.
I think it was just I think it was just like a SUV, just a regular SUV.
A car bursts in, and all the cops pull out their guns. They're surrounding the car, and then it's the DEA who got kidnapped earlier. He's got the bomb strapped around his neck, and then there's a phone that's ringing, and a note that says for the Batman. And
which is the second time that the Batman.
Third time there was a note.
Yeah, third time.
The commissioner.
Now this pretty much gets Batman shook a little bit.
Yeah, it's Bruce Wayne is at the funeral, so he has to leave and then come back as Batman. And he reads the note, and it tells him to answer the phone. So he answers it, and the Riddler is asking... He's talking to Batman, but he also asks the DA 3 riddles, and if he gets them all wrong, or if he gets them all right, then he gets to live, and if he gets them wrong, then he's going to detonate the bomb that's around his neck. And so Batman is the only other person in the building. Everyone else has been evacuated.
Imagine. Like, what if Batman didn't show up and everyone was like...
Yeah, if Bruce Wayne hadn't been there, and then he wouldn't have known that was happening.
Yeah, imagine.
Yeah.
Then Gordon...
he gets the Riddler, or the riddles, all of them except like the last one. He doesn't answer in time, and so the bomb gets detonated.
Because one of the riddles, he was like, which vermin are you trying to protect?
Oh, yeah, the rat.
Yeah, pretty much the rat.
He was saying, who are you trying to protect? Like, who was the rat? Whatever, because the whole thing revolves around someone who ratted on Salvatore Moroni, who was a crime boss, and that got him locked up. And like the whole movie kind of revolves around, or it's a big part of the case is trying to figure out who was the one who ratted on Moroni. But
and one of the other one of the other things that the Riddler asks is like how much for like a bribe, and he says like 10,000.
Oh yeah, one of the first one was just like a normal riddle, and then he asked him how much does it cost like to bribe you, whatever, because he'd taken a lot of bribes as a DA, and the last one was the rat question, and then he was like, I'm not saying that, so he literally would rather die than give up whoever the rat was.
Yeah. You can keep talking. I'll be back.
Oh, okay. Just keep ranting about the movie plot. All right. So, I don't know. After the, bomb and everything.
Sorry about that. I had some family issues.
I just kind of muted myself. I didn't know what to say.
So where do we leave off? DA, he blows up.
Gets blown up, yeah.
Batman gets knocked out.
Oh yeah, okay. Batman gets knocked out, and then the cops take him in to the precinct or whatever for questioning.
Like, what's a Batman going to say? He's like, "Did you not hear me?"
Yeah, all the cops take him into the precinct.
They get a little impatient, and they're like, "Let's take off his mask."
Yeah, they try to take off his mask, and he's not having it.
Man, this guy, I think it was the chief. This guy had a very raspy voice.
Yeah, the chief was like yelling at Gordon and stuff and saying, you shouldn't be trusting the Batman and all that. And then Gordon tells him to give him 5 minutes alone with him. So everyone else walks away, but they can still see what's happening. Yeah. And Gordon is trying to get him out of there. So he's like, hey, let's talk for a minute. And then I want you to punch me and then run up the stairs and everything. And like, he tells him how to get out. And so he pretends to just chat with him. And then Batman punches him, runs away, and he escapes so that he can. Then what happens next? Wait, is it after that? Who was it?
I think after. Jeez, oh my god.
Was it? No, I'm trying to think.
I think this. Okay.
Who was it that Selena had up on the balcony or whatever that she was interrogating? Up by the bat signal. Was it? It was that one corrupt cop, wasn't it? The one who helped kidnap her girlfriend. The one who was at the who was one of the clowns that you were saying we would come back to. You're muted, by the way.
All right, where we leave off?
I was talking about he leaves there, and then he goes. After he leaves there, he meets up with Gordon, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, and then I'm trying to think. Oh, him and Gordon go and track down Oswald to find out who the rat is. They chase down the Penguin.
Mm-hmm. Because
they chase him down, and then he gives him a false lead. Right? He says it's. No, they figure it out on their own after they figure out one of the Riddler's secret messages. And I don't know.
Man, are you not going to explain the car chase?
Well, I mean, the car chase was pretty cool. I was not there for part of it. I was there for the last part of it. I got up to use the bathroom during the car chase part. So.
I can try to explain it, but
it's fine. I'm sure it doesn't really matter. Unless was there any important plot details during the car chase?
Well, it was pretty cool. I'm not gonna
Yeah, it was
lie.
cool. I got back like during the explosion when the penguin thought he was dead or whatever.
But I don't know. I'll just keep that to myself.
Yeah, but like they do the car chase and everything, and then they track down the penguin, and then while they're talking to the penguin, they figure out one of the Riddler's clues. Remember, to that website,
Yeah.
and then from there they're able to talk to the penguin, and the penguin basically reveals that his next target is Bruce Wayne.
Mm.
Because
Because
he says Thomas Wayne was corrupt and everything, and so he is targeting Bruce Wayne. And the Bruce Wayne, like Batman gets there, but the assassination attempt or whatever, it got Alfred instead. It was like that bomb package, and it gets Alfred, and he lives, but he's like in bad shape or whatever.
yeah, I seriously thought Alfred died. I was like, come on,
Yeah,
first
I
movie,
would have.
Alfred's dead.
Yeah, but yeah, Batman figures out that, or no, after that, Batman, or he goes into the Iceberg Lounge or whatever, Penguin's
Yeah,
place as Bruce Wayne, like not Batman. He goes in as Bruce Wayne to talk to Carmine Falcone about his dad because they had worked together. And
yeah,
Falcone tells him that his dad was, super corrupt, and that his dad had Falcone kill a reporter in order to silence him because his dad was running for mayor, and the
and
reporter was going
then
to write some bad stuff about his wife's past or whatever.
Falcone's like the Ramones killed your parents,
Yeah,
and
he
then
says
when
Carmine. He
and
says
then
Marone killed his parents.
yeah, and then Bruce goes to Alfred, and Alfred's like, no, it was Falcone, I think.
Yeah, and he
So
goes back to no, and then he talks to Selina as Batman, and Selina tries to go in there and kill
mhm,
Falcone because Falcone is Selina's dad, and he killed her mom,
mhm.
and she goes in to try to kill him, whatever,
But
and
she fails.
yeah, well, no, Batman stops her.
Yeah.
He goes in, Batman shuts off the power, stops her, and he arrests Falcone and brings him out. And as he's bringing him out, the Riddler like snipes him, right?
Yeah.
Batman relinquishes him to a cop or whatever, and
Hmm.
he realizes it like right as it happens, like what's going on. The Riddler shoots him, and then everyone is scrambling and stuff, and they find the Riddler's like apartment with all this crazy conspiracy stuff, and then he just went to a coffee shop and is just sitting there drinking coffee. All the cops surround him, and he just laughs as they arrest him and stuff.
Man, I
And then
remember
while
this clearly. I remember this
yeah,
clearly.
you remember the last segment very clearly.
He
But
turns around. He's like, "I just ordered some pumpkin pie," and the dude,
yeah, he just
and one of the cops like, "Shut up!"
he's
Slams
like
him into
all
the
kinds of
table.
guys like just ordered a slice of pumpkin pie, and they slam his face in the table while he's laughing. You
And he
want to
sees the
take over
Batman, and
now?
he smiles. He's
Yeah,
like,
you can.
"Aha!
Yeah,
I know he was real."
all right. You want to take over
All
take the
right,
lead again?
all
I've
right.
been
So
talking for a while.
from the information that we got, let's talk about the riddles. So we got first one from your secret friend saying, "What does a liar do when he's dead?" And Batman gets, and everyone figured out when the trailer came out. He lies
Yeah,
still. Then that leads, Savage being killed, and they find you are la rata, which is Spanish for the winged rat.
yeah.
So with Batman, with that information, and then he gets that information, and then the funeral
That's what
happens.
leads him to Penguin,
Yeah,
right? Because the winged rat he thought was Penguin,
yeah.
but it
So
turns out. Sorry, you keep going.
so then the funeral happens, and he gets another clue with all that. So then he goes after the penguin.
The
Then the
Penguin corrects him
penguin
on the
pretty much,
Spanish,
yeah, he corrects the Riddler on his Spanish. El Ratalada. You
and that
are UL.
yeah,
I don't know. Which is actually URL, like a
and that leads
URL.
him to the website where he talks to the and the Riddler tells him that he's targeting Bruce Wayne.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So then
And
that
then,
and then one of like the things that Penguin like gets out there is like, what if Rat-a-Lotta was, you know, a bat, thinking it's a Batman. Well, of course, it's not the Batman. So they eventually do that. They get another riddle saying, I'll meet you when the rat is brought into the light."
And the
which
rat
means,
was Falcone.
Yeah,
right?
The rat was Falcone, which is a falcon. You can get that from that.
Falcone, Falcon is a winged rat, but Falcone was the one who ratted on Maroni, and bring him into the light was him saying, "Bring him in out of like the iceberg lounge," and Batman brought him into the light out of the thing under like a street light, into the light basically, and that's when Riddler shot him.
And during that whole commotion, before Falcone eventually gets shot, Falcone runs his mouth saying that, "Look at you, Oswald. You're the big boy now." and Oswald is like, "All right, I'm gonna go shoot you."
Oh yeah, he pulls out his gun, but before he can
before he can take a shot, and the dude's like, "It wasn't me."
Yeah, and then after they arrest the Riddler, the cops and Batman are searching his place, and they find a video or whatever, and he had like a massive big following online, and everyone was talking about like following in the Riddler's footsteps and stuff. And he goes to visit the Riddler at prison, and while he's there visiting the Riddler in prison, it's also cutting into like the Riddler's video where he's talking about the plan. And basically he put explosives. He blew up the seawall and flooded the city, and basically drove everybody into the middle of the city. And then his followers were just waiting there with guns, basically, and they were like, just shooting everybody.
So, adding to that, so Batman goes to visit the Riddler. The Riddler's like, "Well, you're not that smart," and then Batman's like, "What? What do you mean?" Goes back to the room, finds a tool from before, if you guys remember.
From earlier, yeah.
Finds like a place to like rip out, a rug, and sees the Riddler's whole plan. Well, he has probably one of the best cops in the whole movie. I don't know his name. He has a mustache. That's all I know.
That guy who was there with him.
And then the seawall blows up, which starts flooding the whole city. Everyone runs to the middle of the city, which is downtown probably, and that's where they're doing like the rally, for for the mayorship.
Oh, for the new mayor lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lady who took over as mayor after the mayor got killed.
And that's where the Riddlers were. They were waiting. They knew from the Riddler, the original, that they're going to come there when the explosions happen. Yeah. So they take their shots.
They're up there just taking shots and stuff, and they're like shooting down onto the people as it's flooding. So it's pushing more people into the middle to be picked off. And then that's when Batman shows up and just starts, beating them all up from the top and all that.
And so, yeah, during that, Batman gets shot by a double-barrel shotgun. Holy God. Somehow does. Which I was thinking, because I told my cousin after this, it's like, how much, like, bullets, how much power can, like, the armor take? And you can see the armor start, you can see bullet holes in the armor, which weren't there before.
In his armor. And it's just like that, yeah. You can see that he was struggling, but he gets back up and all that. Because him and Selina and Gordon all take out the Riddler goons and stuff.
And then the Riddler loses.
The Riddler loses, and then the National Guard comes in. Mayor gives her a big speech about how they're gonna rebuild the city. And the post-credit scene or whatever was when the Riddler sitting in prison, and the Joker talks to him from the other cell.
Yup, it's that guy from Eternals. I don't know what his name is.
No, this is a different Joker.
But the actor who's playing is the guy from Eternals. One of the guys.
Right. Here, hold up. I'll look up the actor's name real quick.
Don't know what his name was. But yeah, he is the Joker, who is probably super scarred because I can see his teeth. He might be like Jack Nicholson's.
It's not.
Joker.
Hold up. Barry Cogan.
Yeah, Barry Cogan. That guy. He has a weird smile.
Yeah.
You should
Was he
look
in
up.
Eternals?
Yeah, he was in Eternals. I never
Who did he
even
play
got
in
to finish
Eternals?
him. I don't Druig, I think. Druig.
Oh,
I think.
Druig.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, yeah, so he'll make a good Joker then.
Yeah, and if I don't know if you remember this, but the dude looked very, very scarred. Kind of like Jack Nicholson's version of the Joker.
Heath Ledger?
Heath Ledger was like deeply scarred, but not like where it pretty much forms a smile. Well, it did, but not like
he like just had
physically.
like, the cuts in his mouth that was the smile.
Yeah. And yeah, pretty excited for that. And yeah. Well, I was gonna say how during how Batman saves the people.
Yeah.
There's like an intellectual wire, and he cuts it down, which a lot of people interpret as the end of vengeance and the beginning of Batman, the hero.
Yeah.
So yeah, he saves a few people. Some little girl is like, "No, I want Batman." It's like, you need help. And yeah, and the movie ends with Narvada. No, it doesn't end that.
Yeah, well, no, that's just him. It plays whenever he's like sad or whatever.
But whenever he saves the people, it plays.
Yeah.
And then Batman and Selina go their separate ways.
Yeah, it ends with them, and Selina said she's leaving town and invites him, but invites him to join her, but she knows he's not going to.
Because of the signal, so.
Yeah, he's got to stay and protect his city.
And that's how the Batman ends.
Yep. Spoiler alert, in case.
I said that in the beginning.
Yeah.
This might be different from when I do it with my cousin, because we talk about like a spoiler free, but I don't think we have time to do that.
Yeah.
It's pretty late. And
yeah, I wonder if he's back yet, honestly.
Yeah, by the way, we're watching Star Wars, so that's why we have to, rush this episode. Next episode
from Star Wars to talk about Batman.
Yeah. Somehow you guys already watched episode 2 without me.
Yeah, you left early last night.
Yeah, well, I had work to do.
Yeah.
And I was expecting to watch episode 2 today, but I guess not.
Anakin murder a bunch of children today.
Yes, my favorite thing.
Child murder. The best.
The best movie in the world. So yeah, I think this is going to end this episode. Thank you for joining me. It's not the usual guest or host. And next episode, don't know, but it might involve all of the guys. I don't know, Micah, Aaron, and Jacob, maybe. If we get a chance to do it,
but maybe.
I don't know when Micah can be free. Is he free on Friday?
I don't know. He usually gets home pretty early on Friday. I can ask him. I'm sure he'd be down.
Yeah. Just a hint for that episode. We're probably going to be talking about FNAF a lot.
Yeah. And Jacob will probably lead the conversation in that.
Yeah, I might be quiet the whole time.
Yeah, honestly. Jacob can rant and we'll just all grab our popcorn and listen.
Yeah, it's kind of like how you led this episode. Because this is the first time. So next episode is going to be the second time for you.
Yep.
So since you've already been on the podcast, you want to do the intro for the next one? If we do it?
Maybe. Perhaps.
All right.
Did you already stop recording or?
No, I'm just keeping this as bonus.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Podcast out.